So last week I came up with a deck in my tutorial, making a 20-slide deck PowerPoint presentation in under 10 minutes. And well, this is the deck, and I'm going to use it. I'm going to combine it with Premier League fantasy football idea that I've got, and how I want to use Power BI to analyse that data to pick a great fantasy Premier League side for Berry Wand. And Berry's been struggling with her team, and I've called this PHIT Football. So this is all about Berry Wand. Berry has done pretty badly in fantasy Premier League seasons gone by. Well, she's not badly. She hasn't done great. She hasn't been winning. Right? She hasn't been at the top of the league. She's been somewhere in the mid-table. So she hasn't been in contention with winning. And she wants to try and make use of data to better improve her team and allow her to make better fantasy football decisions. Now, having not got close to winning in previous seasons, perhaps because of unintended biases, like when she makes decisions, she might not pick an Everton player because she's a Liverpool fan and she doesn't particularly like Everton, or perhaps she doesn't pick a Man United player because of those sort of biases because of her favourite teams. Right? So she wants to try and eliminate that from her decision making, and she'll bring in players that perhaps she thinks, she has a hunch, that are going to score some excellent points, but when it comes to it, they don't deliver any points at all. And it leaves her a little shy then in the league table. Her transfers go wrong. Now, how can she pick players and make transfers and bring in players into a team that are going to have a better chance of being successful? Well, the answer probably lies in using the data. Right, the Fantasy Premier League, they make their data available to you. Right, and Berry, she's a data professional. She's working with data all the time, and she wants to see if she can use that data to make better decisions and then make her way and progress up the league. You know, much like the infamed film with Brad Pitt called Moneyball, where they use statistics to pick a baseball team. She wants to see if she can do it for a fantasy team, and with all the data that's in fantasy, that should be more than possible. Now, there are some great PowerShell modules out there that you can use to plug into the Fantasy Premier League API. You can pull down all their data, and it'll bring back all the data you need on all the players. You can then make an informed decision, right, and use that data to help make decisions. And if you combine that with, say, Power BI, you can feed that data into Power BI. You can then carry out further analysis. You can build models, and you can tell your story around the players that you should be picking and why you should be picking them, basing your decisions on data. Now, there are various ways we can bring that data into Power BI. Right? We can just pop an API call out in PowerShell, drag that into a CSV, and then pop that into Power BI initially. But there's going to be numerous ways of doing it, and we'll explore that as we make our way through the season as well. The data model we're going to use in Power BI to begin with is going to be pretty simple. Right? I'm just going to start with the FPL data. It's a free data source. You can make various calls to it. But I'm going to look at how we can supplement that model as well. There are other free football data sites out there where we can look to supplement and build our model and expand it out so we can, again, make better decisions. Right? And we're going to see if we can lend ourselves to do some dimensional modeling here, see if we can create some fact and dimension tables. Once we have that model in place, right, we're going to build some visuals so we can highlight quickly the transfers that we need to make or should be making, shipping out players that aren't performing well or performing well enough, and bringing in others who are. And then we can look for patterns in that data. Perhaps we can use some of the AI features in Power BI to see if that notices patterns that we perhaps have overlooked or we have missed. And then we're going to pick our team based on the data. We're going to try and remove our biases, our loyalties to the teams we support, and Berry supports, in her case, Liverpool, and who refused to pick Man United and Everton players previously. We're going to try and get rid of that and make sure we're picking a team that's going to score well week in, week out. Now, what you need to win, right? So, as I said, season's gone by. I think Berry's team's probably averaged about over 2,000 points, probably just getting above 2,000 points, but nowhere near winning anything or any of the local leagues that she's been involved in. And if you look at the winners of the overall fantasy league over the last few years, the points total, so last year was the highest, I think, possibly the highest ever, with 2,680. 2019, the winner got 2,577. 2018-19, it was 2,659. And the year before that, it was about 2,512. Now, we look at this a little bit further when we start picking our squad, right? But we're going to aim for 2,600 points for that season. That should have us in contention all the way through. And that would have won the league in 6 out of the last 7 seasons. Now, that equates to a weekly points total of around 68.5 points per week. Or, for each £1 million in your budget, each £1 million bringing in 26 points across the season. All right? Or, to put that another way, each million bringing in 0.68 points each game. So if you've got a £4 million player, they need to be bringing in just over 2 points a game for you. So we'll be able to work out exactly what we need. Now, when it comes to winning the local leagues, and you can be quite successful and have a successful season by winning those leagues, all right, most of the leagues that I have played in, and I suspect Barry has played in over the years, you'd have won those leagues with a lot less than 2,600 points. So you could still be successful if you don't get to 2,600 points. In fact, if I'd have added an extra 100 or 150 points to my totals over the last few seasons, it would have had or resulted in a successful season. Now, we'll refresh the data each week. We'll probably just do that manually to begin with, but we look at how we can automate that, how we can plug in Power BI and schedule the refreshes and things like that. So we can look at all that kind of fun stuff too. So once our model is deployed, how it can how we can automate that process and refresh the data so it's there for us. And this is meant to be a bit of fun, right? Hopefully we'll be successful, but it is meant to be a bit of fun. We'll get Berry's team going up the league. But if you want to get involved and keep track of how you're doing and perhaps learn a little bit how to use Power BI along the way, then get involved in our league. I will leave the league code at the end of this video, so stay tuned to the end if you want to get involved in our league, and hit the subscribe button as well. Subscribe to the channel and keep up to date with all the latest going on. What's the prize for our league? Well, we'll make a gettingelse.com t-shirt the first prize. So how can you refuse getting involved with such an amazing prize for first place, right? But if you want to just get involved, it's a bit of fun. See if you can do better than Barry. Get involved, join our league today. Right? You never know. You might just win it and end up with that coveted gettingelse.com t-shirt. So as promised, if you want to join our league, the code is on the screen there. It's APDXNM. Right? So add your team to our league, get involved, right? Subscribe to the channel, join the league, and get involved today.